transliteration here really quick.
Let's see.
Okay, how's that?
I don't see it yet. Oh, wait a minute. Of course I do. It's behind another window.
Yeah.
Yes, I can see it really well.
Okay, so you can see the desperate man in the
Yeah,
background
that must be
there.
you when you were on the set, right? Shooting
Yeah, that's
Pirates of the Caribbean.
well, it's a famous painting that I like to have sometimes to remind me to get off my chair and do something. But anyway, so far as some of my favorite Hebrew apps, first off, um, this biblical Hebrew vocabulary one.
Yeah.
So, so you can look at the top 600 Bible words
Yep.
for first year Hebrew vocab.
Yeah.
So if I were to click on top 600 and hit continue, I can choose just like the first 100 or
Yeah. Oh,
even just
cool.
the first 25.
Yeah.
So let's just say we choose the first 25 and then hit
Right.
start.
Yep. Now, was
So
this
here we've got,
was this an expensive app?
it's free.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really great.
So
Um,
I'd look at that and I'd say al, right?
that's right. That's all, which means two.
Two.
So
Okay.
we can hit show English. Okay. Well, okay. I'm a little rusty here. Up upon above. So there's another way to spell all, which means two. But anyway,
And is the hyphen? Has it
it
got
means
a name?
it's connected to another word.
Okay.
So I can say, all right, I'm good with this. Go to the next, or add to the review list. So I'll just say add to review list, and then go to the next word. Okay. Asher.
A share. Yeah.
All right. Aleph Sheen Resh. So I
That's
want to
like a
see
witch, right, or something like that.
share. Um,
It's not like Asher happiness. It's a share like witch.
oh yeah, yeah. Yeah,
WHI. Yep, there it
you
is.
got
Yep.
it. You got it. Yeah, and like we mentioned, um, biblical Hebrew and modern Hebrew, as spoken in Israel today, have some slight differences,
Sure.
but they're pretty darn similar. So for those interested in, actually being able to talk to people in Israel and, potentially like proselyting in Israel someday, right? It's the kind of
Yeah.
fantasy that
Right.
a lot of us have. Anyway, learning biblical is really great. And then there's also, there's
What?
news broadcasts and a lot of things you can listen to modern Hebrew, spoken Hebrew.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
On the ah or the the aleph, it's got a the vowel pointing that makes it an ah, and then it's got another vowel point that makes it another ah. Is there a distinction there? I mean, when you
Yeah.
combine a vowel pointing, is there something I should know?
All right. So you see how there's the three dots in a triangle?
Yeah, that's the segol, and that means eh, right?
Yeah, the
Like
sound.
eggs. And
Yeah,
then
like eggs.
the two are also, the one that looks like a colon on the under the aleph. That's
Yeah.
also an eh. But then the one that when I do it on my keyboard, my Tyndall keyboard, I shift or I just hit the A key, which makes it an eh ah. So it doesn't mean eh ah, does it?
No, it's pronounced ah.
Okay.
But yeah, you put together those two,
Uh
which
huh.
is the Sheva and the Patah.
Yeah.
I need to brush up on why that happens. But
Okay. So is that
um,
like a grammar rule?
yes.
Ah. Okay.
um, yeah.
All right. Well,
But we'll brush up on that and know what this is
Hebrew
called.
just looks cool, doesn't it?
It
The way
does.
that yeah, it just sort of draws you in. Hey, I want to learn that. So
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at a few more words. This
yeah,
is ish, which is man, I believe. Yeah.
yeah, man,
Um,
human,
so
each.
the little dot under the aleph
Yeah,
is let's see, what is it
like
called?
it. It's like an I sound, right?
Shirik, yeah, the I. So
And
the
then
A,
the
yeah,
yod doesn't have any sound.
it um in this word it doesn't really, but like in Israel, it's the Yisrael. Right?
Yeah. So
So
would you say
it's gonna
ish
have
Or would you say
It's gonna
ish?
have a vowel in Israel too. So really, the vowel is what does it, and it is kind of quiet.
Mm-hmm.
But this word is ish.
Ish.
Yeah.
You don't say yash or
No, no,
okay.
ish.
Ish.
So as you can see, this app's super fun. And then let's say we get to the end of our list. Let's say we
Mm-hmm.
review that, say, okay, next word, etc. And you see in the top right corner, it's got 12, 14 out of 25. Okay, let's say we throw on this one, which is
Yeah.
here in Elohim. This is obviously
All right.
a big one to know. There's God. Um,
Yehovah.
Yahweh, yeah,
Yeah.
Jehovah. And Bo, which is like come. Now
Mm-hmm.
you'll notice, and you can go previous word too.
Yeah.
Most of the vowels, or excuse me, most of the verbs are just 3 letters.
Right.
And this, like we were talking about a little before we started the recording, the call form is the main present tense.
Mm-hmm.
So bo would mean to come, but when I want to make it past tense, future tense, and get into all that, which is much later, we basically just add on a letter in the beginning or in the middle or in the back. So that main verb stays there, and you just modify it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So once you get the hang of it, it's actually, let me just say, learning Hebrew is a lot easier than learning something like Arabic and Egyptian and stuff.
Okay.
But anyway, so let's finish our list. Okay, there we are, 25. So it says list completed. Would you like to review? Yeah, let's review it. So then now you'll notice it's 1 out of 5
Right.
because they're the only 5 I hit on my review list. So then
Ah.
I can boom, 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 and I'm done. Then I can go back. Okay, so that was an example of and you can do a
So can
lot
I make
more.
more than one review list?
Uh, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it's just kind
Well,
of
this
in the
is this is actually pretty nice, isn't it?
yeah.
You
Yeah,
can
so yeah.
this
And
sort of solves one of the club goals, and that is to have the top vocabulary.
that's definitely extremely helpful. And the nice thing is once you get, let's say you get the top 100, you know,
Hmm.
that's most of the, most of the Bible,
Yeah.
Anyway, and I have a printout from the classes I took. Like I said, I did at
Well,
BYU, but I
what
have a
did
printout
you
of the top 1,000 that I'll try to share a Word document of that
what
with everybody.
what did you do to practice?
Well, I did a lot of flashcards, and I would just go on walks and flip flashcards, ad nauseum. I'd pace the library for hours flipping flashcards. Um, we would, in a typical class, once we got the basics down, we'd say, okay, for next class, go to this chapter and study verses 1 through 10, and bring your best translation you can of verses 1 through 10. We'd go
Okay.
over you know, but we
Okay.
also went through Lambdin's grammar book.
Okay.
But yeah,
Is there an
learning Hebrew.
app for grammar?
Well, as far as biblical Hebrew goes, most of the language learning apps like Mondly, Duolingo, and so forth are mostly vocabulary, and like talking to people.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
So
look into that because some
is
of these Hebrew
your
apps I haven't looked into a lot, like
is your
Drops and Living Hebrew.
goal is your goal to be conversant, or is it to read, or both?
I would like to do both.
Okay.
I took one class in modern Hebrew, which is speaking the language. It's
Mhm.
it's pretty dang hard, but yeah, I I'd like to be to where I could you know proselyte in Jerusalem someday. You know what I mean?
Well,
So
sure. I mean,
yeah,
a lot of people have that as a thought anyway.
I think
Uh,
also as far as my understanding and my religious views in the millennium, the language that we're going to speak is pretty darn near close to Hebrew. Without going into too much detail, I asked one of my Hebrew professors what the spoken words were in the because it used to be when you would go to I'm talking from an LDS background. It
yeah.
used to be in the 80s or whatever when you'd go to the temple, you'd say some foreign language words. And I asked one of my Hebrew professors, I said, "What language are those words?" And they said, "Well, that's probably Sumerian, which is very similar to Hebrew, just a little bit earlier." So anyway, I don't want to, I feel a little
Well,
bit awkward talking about in detail.
are you old enough to remember those words?
I know what the words are.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, and I've talked with people and stuff. Um, but they have pretty dang near good translations in Hebrew. Um, yeah,
Are
but
you? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I guess it more exactly would resemble Sumerian. But if you know something about Hebrew and you know what those words are, it's not a stretch at all to translate that from Hebrew.
Mm-hmm. So, how do you use your Hebrew interlinear?
Okay, let's look at that. Last thing on this Hebrew vocabulary one
Oh
is
yeah.
the first year Hebrew vocabulary.
Uh
Like
huh.
continuing that, it's
Yep.
got lessons.
Oh wow. Look at that.
So apparently it's got 55 lessons. I haven't really used this feature, but you can
Yeah.
take a peek at lesson one.
Sure should.
Because actually in my classes, they would actually do, okay, we're gonna have a vocabulary test on the first 25. Okay, now we're gonna
Yep.
have a vocabulary test on the next 25. So
Right.
this breaking down into units of 25 of the top
Mm-hmm.
1,000 is pretty common. But anyway, this lesson feature, um, I don't really know what it's about, but I guess it's
Nice.
similar.
That's.
I
I
don't know.
think this is worth my time to wait for you to show me
Yeah,
this. So I'll probably, if it's free, especially, I think we
yeah,
probably ought to use it.
it's definitely free. And like I said, I've got a Word document of the top 1,000 Hebrew vocabulary words that I'll try and share.
Sure.
But let me give you guys a quick glimpse of Hebrew, the Interlinear Old Testament app. This is also free.
Uh huh.
Um, so let's just go to that. This one is really gold because you can buy this an interlinear textbook,
Uh
which
huh.
is highly recommended, obviously.
Yeah.
But anyway, so here we are. Let's say we want to look at Genesis chapter one, verse.
Nice. So has it got the whole Tanakh in it, or the
Yeah, it's
whole
got.
the
Let me go
whole
back
thing?
and see.
Okay.
So we got Genesis,
Wow.
mm,
Which
Malachi, yeah, the
which
whole Old Testament.
which Hebrew document are they using? Are they using the Leningrad Codex? What are they using?
I don't know,
I guess. Okay. Well, anyway, show me. We
but
can
yeah,
solve
I
that
think
later.
they've. Yeah, it looks like there's a link we could check out. But anyway, so let's say we want to do Genesis, just start at the beginning. You just
Mm-hmm.
go, and this is that verse. So each
Yep.
page is a verse. So when I swipe, it's going to verse two,
Ah. Uh
verse
huh.
three, okay?
Yeah.
And in
And what are those numbers up
the
there?
red is the English. Those are correlated to Strong's exhaustive concordance.
Oh, that's strong.
So
Okay.
yeah, so if you click on the number, I think you
Mm-hmm.
can. No, apparently you can't. But anyway, it's going to tell you, you can cheat and read the blue text, like Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim et haaretz.
Yeah.
Uh, and then what's nice is the English words. If you take a Hebrew Bible and an English Bible and you read verse by verse going back and forth, it's
Yeah.
going to be a little bit challenging because the sentence structures are not the same in English as Hebrew.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, uh, anyway, so here in the beginning created God the heavens and the earth. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
in your English Bible, it's going to say in the beginning God created instead
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
created God. So we're
Yeah.
looking at, um, yeah. Anyway, so it's super helpful, and you can just go through, you know,
Wow.
as you get familiar with the, alphabet and such, you can cover up the English just with your
Uh huh.
finger or something, and you
Yeah.
can look and try to see, okay, what does that mean again? Oh yeah, in the beginning.
So it just
Um,
like training wheels.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and there's some
Okay.
other. I'll try to dig up some other resources that where you can have no English showing, and it's just
Oh
written
yeah.
in
Look at
English.
that. Those. So show them or
So
not, right there. Yep.
I can get rid of the transliteration and
Yeah.
let's see lemma tags. I don't know what that is, but let's just get rid of everything and see what it looks like.
Should just look
So
like.
yeah, there's
Yep.
just the Hebrew.
Nice.
So that'll be a little more intense, but
Oh yeah.
you know,
Now.
this
Okay.
is free. So what I like to do is once you get a grasp of the alphabet
Yeah.
and how to sound out each letter and a
Yeah.
little bit of how to sound out each of the verbs or
Yeah.
the vowels, I mean, you can look at this, even if you have elementary understanding, you can, Bereshit, okay, in the beginning, bara created, okay, the bara is like the verb create.
Hmm.
Um, anyway, you can even you hear all these stories about people who would sit down and read, scripture in one language and a foreign language and go back verse to verse,
Yeah.
and how that, they miraculously get a lot of help with the language that way. So yeah. Anyway, so thanks for letting me share that. There's some other apps that I've not used a ton. I've messed around with Duolingo a little bit. I'm pretty sure they're free, but there's this Bluebird and Drops that are specifically Hebrew and other Hebrew. Anyway, so I'll try to get back with you guys on that, I guess.
Well, wonderful. Thank you. Those two that you showed are exactly what I needed to see. So, all right.
Good.
I'll go ahead
Yeah,
and
those are
post
gold.
this for everyone,
Okay.
and I appreciate it. Thank you very much. We've got to have these kind of off club meetings to see things like this because there's not enough time. But yeah,
Right.
great. Thank you.
Okay. Well, we'll check out then.
Okay, Nate.
All right. Bye.
Bye.